Joseph, it's good to actually have a chance to speak with you. We were just talking, for folks who are watching this whole interview on Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, rudyblairmedia.com. We met up, I do believe we met up at the industry party that RBCX Music had. You were there, correct?
I was there, yeah.
What'd you
I was,
think of it?
it was I had a great time, great connections made. I met great people of the industry and all of that. But I'd say that the best part of it was to meet other artists. So yeah, just to connect and talk about music and stuff we like.
Was that the first time you had a chance to meet the folks? Because for folks who don't realize what this interview is about, Joseph is part of the RBCX Music group for 2023, and congratulations on that, man. Is that the first time you had a chance to meet the folks, or did you meet them beforehand?
No, it was actually the first time because I'm from Quebec City.
Mhm.
So it was actually my first time in Toronto ever. So yeah, I had a great time though. I'm pretty excited to go back.
Well, for folks who don't know, RBCX Music, I mean, you only a select few get into this. So congratulate every year. So congratulations on that. For folks who don't know what it is, talk a little bit about it, please.
Well, it's a great project. It's great activity. We have new opportunities to perform, to meet other artists. We get funding, a lot of great time. And like I was saying, yeah, it allowed me to connect with artists of my generation that are kind of start to making it too in Canada. So yeah, it's all about that. It's all about elevate new artists, local artists, and it's a great project.
What have you gotten out of it so far that maybe you would not have had a chance on your own if you weren't connected with RBCX Music?
Once again, I would say to connect with amazing artists, and more specifically to start working on like new projects, new sounds, and yeah. So it's all about the connection, and you have to know that here in Quebec City, people speak French, only French. So matter of fact, it's my first language. So here when you perform, when you speak, when you act in English here, it's always a little bit harder to make it because there are a lot of closed door for you, but at the same time you have a lot of opportunities to get elsewhere, to get in the United States, in Toronto and all that. So to me, this RBCX Music was an opportunity to put my music out there and to out Quebec City.
You know, that's one of the things I try to explain to people. I've had a chance to talk to some other artists who are from the province of Quebec. The province of Quebec, when it comes to the music scene, literally in Canada, is literally like Quebec should be their own country when it comes to music, because it really is a closed. I don't want to use the term closed. That's not fair, but it's its own environment. Agree or disagree?
Completely agree, and I think that it is closed. I won't say it's closed-minded, but there is this
That's a good way
mentality.
to say it. Closed minded. It's not closed minded. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, it's there is this mentality here of like protecting the culture, but like the
Right.
French culture. So everything that comes outside of it is like, oh, we don't necessarily want it and whatever. But and the thing is that since I'm native indigenous, I have a different relation with the French language, because actually in my community we have another language. So I have to play with those discussions, to play with those this reality, uh, because when I decide to write, when I decide to create, I don't tell myself, okay, I'm gonna write in this language or this. I just want to stay true to myself. So sometimes it's in like native indigenous languages, sometimes it's in French, sometimes it's in English. But here there is this like kind of prisons where the instance are like, if you don't sing or act in French, you really got to be good to make it. You feel me? Not to say that I'm different like that, but that's the energy we're feeling here.
Can it be a backlash if you're trying to do something that you want to do and if the musical culture doesn't agree? Is there a backlash? Just curious.
It is, but I always want to stay authentic, like in every
Right.
aspect of my art. And it's really important to me, especially since I'm from this community. I have a message most of the time, and I gotta stay myself more than ever. So it's like I know there are people that are gonna like what I do. People are not gonna like what I do, and it's okay as long as what I do is true to me.
Well, it's funny because is it that way too when it comes to the hip hop community culture? And the reason why I say it is because you are billed as a hip hop artist, but I see you doing other things and singing and performing in other directions. So is that a fair thing to say that you are a hip hop artist? Not saying anything's wrong with being a hip hop artist, of course, and hip hop can expand into so many different ways, but you seem more like a multicultural recording artist than just saying one genre type of thing.
Yeah, and I think that hip hop is a mentality too. I did a lot of like dance too in my life, so that's where I met with hip hop really. So and it's still part of what I do now. So I think hip hop is a way to express yourself. But as you were saying, I don't really like to put names on what I do. Every time I get interviewed, people are trying to get that word of
Yeah,
what are you doing, and I think every
right.
artist feel the same way, but it's part of that authenticity that I'm talking about, to just say, hey, I'm an artist, but if you really want me to say something, I'm gonna say I'm a blues man, because I feel it may
Yeah.
sound a little bit cheesy, but I feel like in the blues you get the soul of Africa, you get that culture piece, and you also get hip hop, you get a whole lot of other things. And a quick funny story, like 3 weeks ago, I was performing at the jazz festival, Montreal Jazz Festival, and a
Mhm.
lot of people was there because they wanted to hear that rap energy and that revendication and all that. And out of nowhere, I just decided to perform a big like rock and roll blues song in C minor, and everybody was like enjoying. But you could also see in faces that people were like, "Is it like the right artist?" Because I heard it was a rapper. You feel me? So I love that too.
Do you get comparisons to Wyclef Jean?
Yes, a little bit, because he's so versatile and so
Yes.
interesting in that way too. So yeah, sometimes people were like, I remind them of that beautiful artist that I would like to collaborate one day with for sure.
Because you play guitar also, right?
Yes, I do.
So does that throw people off also? Because again, you don't see hip hop artists performing guitar. And that's
I know,
why I
right?
brought up Wyclef Jean, because Wyclef will go into a rock melody in the
I
middle of
know.
one of his shows. And that sounds like something that you would do yourself.
Yeah, but I think it's also because people want to put certain genres in boxes
Yes. Yeah.
because they understand them more. So,
Mhm.
for instance, sometimes I'm performing like a trap song, a rap song, and
Right.
then I go freestyling on congas, and some people are tripping in both ways. And that's how I like to play with the crowd and all that. But
Mm.
it's also part of what I want to do, is to break those false interpretation of what it should look or sound like, because you have artists that was there way before me, like Wyclef Jean, that are already doing that. So I feel like it's a great way to just stay authentic. Yeah.
I want to go back to you were talking about with growing up culturally. How many
Mhm.
languages can you speak? Just curious.
Three and a half.
What are the three and a half?
I say three and a half because I speak fluent French,
Mhm.
English, Spanish, and then the dialect from my dad, West Africa, which is the Susu, because my dad is from Guinea Conakry, and I say and a half because I'm fluent, but I'm okay. I'm not
Right.
really good at it, but I can speak and I have a good conversation in Susu for sure.
When you have those different cultures wrapped up in one body, does it, I don't want to use the term effect, does it influence your music choices and learning musical sounds and things like that?
Absolutely. I have to say that I'm born with a really artistic family. My dad is
Mhm.
actually a West African traditional dancer, and when he came here in Quebec City like 30 years ago, he was the first one to bring that art here in Quebec City. So for me and my sisters and brothers, we were really born in that West African music, like West African traditional rhythms that are really like codified. So I literally learned those rhythms before I was able to say my first word. So I really grew up with that technique, with that technicality of percussion, of that rhythmic. Um, so yeah, but even just as a human, so it always been part of who I am. So when it's time to create, I just it just spit it out like it is. I never say to myself like, oh, I would like to add some djembe or some
Right.
powwow drums or whatever. It's just, hey, in my head it would sounds good like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's definitely a musical melting pot
Mhm.
going on with you. But lyrically, though, what are the stories that you like to tell lyrically?
It depends. Sometimes I'm more into like this revendication vibe, what I would like
Mhm.
to like inform about certain situations, like I did with the song "Stand Up," where I talk about uh, the Native Indigenous woman that got kidnapped and like child that got discovered underground, and a lot of things like that. I stay on the surface though because I want it to stay accessible for the public. But sometimes it's just having fun. I want people to dance because that's also that. We're not just the consequence of colonization and all that. We're also just a beautiful people that want to share who we are. So I'd say it depends. There's not like a one message that I want to express if it's not authenticity. But yeah.
Because the Quebec scene for you is that's the another part of the influence. Were you ever thinking about, okay, I love my home and things like that, but there's a bigger part of the world that I want to explore. How do you get your music to be part of that exploration?
Well, because I guess through traveling and through
Mhm.
experimentation and all of that, I just come back. I just came back to Africa like 2 months ago.
Oh, what part?
Yeah, yeah. Guinea Conakry,
Okay.
which is far west, and it was actually my third time there. And I don't know if you ever been to Africa ever.
South Africa in November, I was there.
Okay, so you already know that, it's a whole different universe. It's not a whole different world, it's a whole different universe
Yeah.
culturally and all of that. And so yeah, as a musician, it also has a big impact on me because I went there, of course, to spend time with my family and all that, but also to learn new instruments and get better at some. But yeah, this way of seeing life that is so different here that it has to impact on the way you create. It has an impact on how you create too. So when I got back, I started to put more time on that, on those questions where I wanted to put like a human aspect on my music too, in the message also.
Mhm.
So I'd say it's really through traveling and experiencing different things that it can affect you that way, culturally speaking.
Culturally, though, what about Afro beats? What's been going on with that, man?
Hey, it's coming up, man. You're not ready. I swear to God, I'm actually working on the Afro project, Afro R&B actually. So
That's
it's
what you're
gonna
calling it?
yeah, Afro R&B. It's a new thing. It's nothing that
Oh,
I
okay.
that is out there yet. Because the thing is that everything that is out there at the
Mhm.
moment are all tracks that I created like 2 years ago. So I evolved a lot as a human too and as a musician. So yeah, I'm dropping a lot really soon. And yeah, Afro R&B, a new genre out there.
I love that, man. So, what can we listen to right now? Would you say is your latest single right now that we can check out, and what's it about?
I think the latest one is called Bruises. It's actually a slow R&B track, a sad track, melodic track. Um, I I actually wrote that song for friends that were really not feeling well because of a situation in his life, and I
Mhm.
wanted to share that to the world for all the boys that feel the same thing. He got basically heartbroken in a really hard way, but it's in the lyrics. If you want to read that, it's a beautiful thing. And matter of fact, all of my songs are true story, all of them. And most of them are true story that I've been through, but some are for friends, family, and people that I care. So Bruises is one of those.
Fantastic. What about shows? Any chance shows hometown or even anywhere across the country?
Yes, I'm actually performing in Rimouski, Quebec City, in 7 days, the August 30, I think it's 31. Yeah, 31, August 31. And right after that, I'm traveling to Morocco for a full week where I'm going to perform there too at Oujda at the Hip Hop Academy. So yeah, a lot of things going on here and a lot of blessings. I just got named Radio Canada Revelation of the Year.
I saw
So
that.
yeah, it's really a blessing and a lot of hard work too. But you know, ancestors are with us, so we're grateful and thankful, and we stay humble for sure.
So I'll give you a chance, man, before we wrap this up. Anything you want to say in French to the Quebecois folks?
Yes, of course. Ben, en fait, à tous ceux qui m'écoutent en ce moment, je veux vous dire que je vais jamais vous oublier, puis jamais oublier d'où je viens aussi. Puis ça me fait plaisir de pouvoir vous voir à chaque fois que je performe ici, puis j'ai hâte de vous voir que ce soit à Québec ou Montréal.
My friend, thank you so much for this interview. Congratulations, of course, with being part of RBCX Music. Sounds like you got a wonderful future that's going to be happening, man. And what a way to represent a multicultural base. And that's the way you do it, man, through music, and you're doing it through your music. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, Rudy.